All right, everybody, good morning. Let's get started with this Sunday morning with some big league playoffs. Getting started, busy day today. Want to get started early. Get these first 4 games in, get a chance maybe to, if everybody gets an export out, get 5 through 7 complete tonight so we can further on with the championship series. I just started a new job, so things will be pushed back later. So we'll probably be continuing on with the championship series Monday if we finish tonight. So without further ado, let's take a look at our matchups. First up in our series, we have Lehigh Valley going up against Washington. 2 division rivals here, finishing the season 6-6 with each other, so it's going to be a tight series. First matchup pitching will be Alex Lopez for Lehigh going up against Butch Winter for Washington. With the next series, we'll have Somerville going up against Denver, with Somerville taking a 3-1 season series victory over them. So this should be a fun series to watch. Denver, as we all know, is last year's champion, so see what can happen from here on out for them. Moving on to the other Fire Conference, we have Oklahoma City going up against Virginia. Virginia with the top seed with 105 wins. Oklahoma City actually though took the series season series victory, or 7-5 series victory over Virginia. So could be a tough matchup for Virginia. We shall see. And on to the final matchup would be the Louisville Rivermen going up against the Big Horn Rams. And Big Horn has taken a 3-1 season series matchup victory. There we go. It's early morning. We'll get it. Hopefully my golf game goes better today. So without further ado, let's get started. Lehigh and Washington are starting things off. And Brian Tuning leaves the game with an injury for Lehigh. Take a look to see if that is of concern, while Washington takes a 1-0 lead with a Mike Keating single. Meanwhile, Somerville and Denver have started. Victor Rivera is starting things off with Denver with a double. Mike High scores. And Big Horn gets on the board. I'm not even going to try and pronounce his name, but Joey gets himself a solo homer. Mark Keating doubles. Washington takes a 2-0 lead. Fred Cox, sac fly. Washington up 3-0. Louisville gets on the board. Pete Robinson, solo homer. And Rick Fuqua doubles, and Louisville takes a 2-1 lead as the scoreboard is glitched out. Charlie Brummett hits a solo homer for Washington, extending their lead 4-0. I'm not gonna say what the scoring update says. You can all read it. Ken Phillips hits a solo homer, putting Lehigh on the board 4-1 in the top of the 7th. Kevin Loudermilk, solo homer. Louisville up 3-1 in the top of the 6th. Virginia gets on the board with a Roland Bale double. Late in the game, getting some runs here. Or a run. And TJ Deal singles, scoring in 2. Closing the gap on Washington here, 4-3 in the bottom of the 7th. Something happened. Jeremy McMartin grounds into a fielder's choice. Harrison scores. 2-0 Denver. Hammock singles. I'm going to try and pronounce it. Aaron Kranz scores, so Big Horn 3 tightens the lead, or makes it 3-2. Louisville still on top. Meanwhile, Ken Phillips hits a 2-run homer, putting Lehigh on top of Washington 5-4, and that's the second homer of the game for Ken Phillips. So late game heroics here for Lehigh. And not to be outmatched with Jason Collar hitting a solo homer, tying this game up 5 apiece. So in the 9th inning we go. Tie game with Lehigh and Washington. And Big Horn takes the lead with a Louis Perez 2-run homer, taking a 4-3 lead. And Oklahoma is on the board with a Ricky Quiones. I think I said that right. Solo homer. Lehigh has got 2 on with 1 out at the top of the 9th. Down to 2. Meanwhile, Denver seals the deal. Didn't realize that one finished so quick, but Rick Anguiano getting the win, 2-0. Bases loaded, 2 out, top of the 9th for Lehigh. And he strikes out swinging. Zachary Fast doubles, and Fred Cox gets intentionally walked. It's a double steal by Washington. Man on third with 1 out. Lindhall strikes out. Walked Collar. Keating strikes out swinging. So to the 10th inning we go with Lehigh and Washington. Lucatus leads the game with an injury for Big Horn. And Big Horn with the victory, 4-3 over the Rivermen. Joe Butts gets the victory. 2 10-inning games going on right now between Oklahoma City and Virginia and Lehigh and Washington. And they go to the 11th in Lehigh and Washington. It's like Out of the Park knows I have something to do after this. And Lehigh takes a 2-run jump on Washington, 7-5 with a Shane Hunt single. Still nobody out, so Lehigh can put more on. And we have a victory on the Oklahoma-Virginia side, with Virginia getting a single from Jesse Ripke. And Coster scores, so Virginia takes the victory. And meanwhile, Zachary Fast gets another single. Nobody out. Man on second and third. And it happens. Deshaun Beavers singles, Zachary Fast scores. So Washington walks off. We have 2 walk-offs here, right just at the same time, with Washington taking an 8-7 victory over Lehigh. So exciting game ones. Save the game and advance the next day. Take a look at our matchups here. So we got Lehigh, we got Roland Cook on the mound going up against Boyd Perry. Somerville's got DJ Marksberry on the plate, and Denver's got Daniel Jennings. Oklahoma City has Murrieta on the mound, and Virginia's got Jesse Wilkes. Rivermen have Johnny Moore, and Big Horn has Josh Miller. So without further ado, let's get at it. Well, Denver is going to start the scoring off of game 2 with a 2-run double from and a Rivera single and an Antonio Reyes double, making it 5, and a Nate the Great double for 5-0 Denver. in the bottom of the first. So Denver pouring on the runs in the bottom of the first. 5-0. Virginia's on the board with a Mark Green single. Washington gets on the board as well with a Fred Cox single. Ricky Quinones hits us another solo homer. Tying the game up with Virginia 1-1. Oh, what happened here? No, Maurice Barksdale singles. So Washington up 2-0 over Lehigh. Meanwhile, Justin Marshall, Rule 5 legend, hits another solo homer, making it 1-0 Bighorn. Got some. Nope. Had to step away for a second, but Oklahoma City with a 3-1 lead with a Kyle Bailey Fielder's choice, and Bighorn with a Justin Marshall double makes it 2-0. Bighorn. Meanwhile, Alex Alonso doubles, making it tying the game up, and Jason Richardson singles, making it a 4-3 game. Virginia over Oklahoma. Aaron Harrison singles. Denver's up 6-0 over Somerville. And that's a final with Washington taking a 2-0 lead, or 2-0 win over Lehigh, which gives them a 2-0 lead series on Lehigh. Somerville gets on the board with a Juliano solo homer. Jesse Ripke doubles, making it 5-3 Virginia. Park, it's a 2-run homer, Bighorn, with a 4-0 lead in the 7th over Louisville. Five to nothing. David Lawyer with a double. We have bases loaded, nobody out with the bottom of the 6th for Virginia. Opportunity for them to blow the doors open in that game. Louisville gets on the board. Or were they on the board before? No, they weren't. No, they are on the board now. With a Bellinger single, making it 5-2. And Park singles, making it 5-3. It looks like Oklahoma got out of that jam with the bases loaded with nobody out. Lukakis hits a solo homer, making it 6-3 Bighorn. And Denver makes it a final, taking a 2-0 series lead with a 6-1 victory today over Somerville. Ninth inning for the Bighorn Louisville game. Louisville's down to their last 3 outs, but they got 1 on, or 2 outs with 1 on. It's a ball game. Bighorn with a 6-3 victory takes a 2-0 series lead over Louisville. So Bighorn finishing strong this year. To the ninth we go with Oklahoma City and Virginia. Oklahoma City down to their final 3 outs. Down to their final out now. And that's a final. Virginia takes 5-3, so we have 4-2-0 series leads right here, going to every home team won. So we'll save this game. And without further ado, no, let's see who's pitching. So Washington has Francisco De La Torre. I'm guessing I'm saying that right. And Ryan Herrera for Lehigh. Herrera does not look promising. He hasn't pitched well. Denver has Eric Ryan on the plate or mound, and Somerville has David Konopka. Virginia's got Miguel Vicente. There we go. And Oklahoma City has Kenny Hedges. Big Horn, Matt Shelton. And Louisville has Miguel Lugo. So, without further ado, let's get into game 3. Washington starting things off early with a Ryan Odom solo homer. 1-0 Washington. And Ryan Herrera leaves the game with an injury. Lehigh is jumping on the board here with a Brian Richards double, scoring 2, and a Marco Rubio sac flies. So Lehigh is taking a 3-1 lead in the bottom of the first. And Washington ties the game back up with a Charlie Brummett 2-run homer. And Victor Esquivel singles for Oklahoma, taking a 1-0 lead in the bottom of the first. And they look like they're threatening for more. And they do get more with a Kevin Shepard. He grounds out. And Esquivel scores. And David Bell singles, so 2 more runs get through, and it's 4-0 Oklahoma City. Well, the scoring updates page right there gets all glitched out. Jason Collar doubles. Odom scores 4-3 Washington, retaking that lead. And Lehigh tying the game back up with a Richardson solo homer. Virginia getting on the board with a Roland Bale single. And Louisville's on the board with a Brian Downing single. Aaron Kranz with a solo homer, tying the game up for Big Horn. And Washington retaking that lead with a Fred Cox single, scoring in 2. Jalen Boyd hits a solo homer for Somerville, so Somerville has a 1-0 lead over Denver. Denver gets on the board. The McMartin solo homer. And Alex Alonso leaves the game with an injury for Virginia. And Mike High gets a solo homer. So Denver takes a 2-1 lead over Somerville in the 5th. And Nate the Great singles. Scoring a run. 3-1 Denver. Meanwhile, Oklahoma is extending their lead with a Corey Goodman single and a sac fly from Ricky Quinones. 6-1 Oklahoma City. Jeremy Hammock doubles. breaking the tie with Bighorn in Louisville. And Somerville's coming back and ties this game with a Mike Clark double and a Mike Jamie double. So it's 3-3 was between Somerville and Denver. Joey Aaronkrantz walks. Wow. Walks in a run. 3-1 Bighorn. Rick Fuqua. It's a solo homer for Louisville. Shortening the gap on that lead with Bighorn. And Somerville taking a 4-3 lead with a Mike Jamie single. And we have a final with Washington taking a 6-4 victory over Lehigh, making it a 3-0 series lead over Lehigh. And I believe Virginia's down to their final 3 outs. Yes, it is. Rattray singles. First out, but Rattray goes to second. And that's a ball game with Oklahoma getting a victory over Virginia. So it's a 2-1 series lead for Virginia with Oklahoma getting a 6-1 win today. And Louisville's down to their final 3 outs. See if they can walk off again. Pete Robinson doubles, but it wasn't enough, and Louisville takes a L with a 3-2 victory with Bighorn, giving them the 3-0 series lead. So we got some broom sweeps ahead of us possibility this morning. Oklahoma City avoided it, though. Meanwhile, Denver with Antonio Reyes doubling, tying the game up in the 9th. Out of the Park does know I have something to do after this. Or does it? Or does it? Runners advance. Matt Clark takes an intentional walk. 2 out. We go to the 10th. It does know. Somerville gets out of the jam with bases loaded. Got 2 on, 1 out for Somerville. Bottom of the 10th. And Denver gets out of a jam. To the 11th we go. Adam Borton's leaving the game with an injury for Somerville. Two down, 1st and 3rd. Bases loaded. And Shikao Yasutaki singles, giving Denver a 5-4 lead in the top of the 11th. So the final 3 outs for Somerville. See if they can respond. Matt Clark doubles with 1 out, so there's a chance. There's a chance. And they do. They tie it up. Matt with a Mario Rodriguez double. And he advances on a wild pitch with 2 down. So they tie it up and go to the 12th. Mike High doubles. Scoring in a run. Nobody out. Now the runs are pouring in with Nate the Great doubling, scoring in two, 8-5 for Denver. So Somerville, see if they have it in them again. Starting off strong. Two down. Hit into a double play. Brendan Geary leaves the game with an injury for Denver. Final out for Somerville. And that's a ball game. So late game fireworks for Somerville couldn't outdo the Denvers. So we got a chance for 3 sweeps. And let's see who's got for game 4. Washington has Carlos Rodriguez going up against Justin Bremer. Denver has Kevin Klein going up against Owen Singleton. Virginia's got the two-way sensation, Zach Coster, going up against Jin Ning for Oklahoma City. Big Horn has got Cole Bowden going up to the mound, and Louisville has Dave Burke. So, let's get these games rolling. Denver gets on the board. Jerry McMartin with a solo homer, 1-0. Meanwhile, Washington and Lehigh, Zachary Fast is hit by a pitch, but bases loaded, 1-0. Lehigh, and Fred Cox double, scoring in 3, so 4-0. Washington, and Denver hits another solo homer with Mike High, making it 2-0. So got some early magic going on in these games. Lincoln Woody gets a double. Or, yeah, for Oklahoma City. Scoring for them, 1-0. Meanwhile, Somerville gets a Mark Sagong triple. Getting them on the board, 1-0. And some other stuff happened here. Lehigh got on the board, 4-1. In Somerville, Jaden Boyd hits a solo homer, taking a 3-2 lead over Denver. So Somerville up 3-2. Meanwhile, Lehigh is putting some numbers here on the board. The McClurkin single, Kareem Amos 3-run homer, and a Barry Richardson solo homer. So Lehigh is taking the lead over Washington 6-4. And Mike High singles again, scoring 2. So Denver retakes the lead 4-3. Add more, 6-3 with a Victor Rivera double. Justin Shoemaker, 2-run homer for Washington, tying this game back up. So 6-6 between Washington and Lehigh. Louisville on the board, Jeremy Agger with a solo homer. Virginia on the board with a Ripke double. Scores 2-1 Virginia. Meanwhile, Joey Aaroncrantz hits a solo homer, tying the game up between Big Horn and Louisville. And Ryan Odom hits a sacrifice fly, taking that lead over Lehigh, 7-6. And Jeremy Hammock says, how do you do with another sacrifice fly? With Bighorn taking a 2-1 lead over Louisville. Jeremy Yeager doubles, scoring 2. Louisville back on top, 3-2. Matt Clark is leaving the game for Somerville. Meanwhile, Travis Plath singles, scoring 2. So Somerville chipping away at that lead. Denver has 6-5. Now Somerville not retaken, but tying this game back up with a Juliano single. 6-6 between Denver and Somerville. Mike Jamie doubles, giving Somerville a 7-6 lead following a Frank Escobar double, making it 8-6 Somerville. Oklahoma City tying the game up and taking the lead 3-2 with a Kevin Shepard tying single and a John Rivera sac fly. Oklahoma 3-2 in the eighth, and Somerville extending the lead 9-6 with an Oscar Fuentes single. And that's a final with Virginia and OKC, with OKC tying up this series with Virginia. So 2-2 there with a 3-2 victory with Oklahoma City. So they will be going on to games 5 through 7. Big Horn tying this game up 3-3 with a Kelly Lucatus solo homer, and Somerville continuing to extend their lead, making it 10-6 Somerville with a Frank Escobar double. Chris Ruska leaving the game with an injury for Louisville. And Mike Keating sac flies, so Washington extending their lead in the ninth, 8-6 over Lehigh. So Lehigh is down to their final 3 outs. And that's a ball game. We got 2 finals. Washington. Congrats to Washington. Sweeping Lehigh, advancing to the championship series between either Denver or Somerville, because Somerville takes the victory. So unless Somerville gets the reverse sweep, they'll be facing them. But it's 3-1 Denver. We got a tie ball game. Extra innings. Out of the park. How do you know? Aaron Kranz singles, 4 hits in the game. That guy has had a hell of a series. I've been saying his name a lot. So and Jeremy Ager, ball game. He gets 4 hits, and Jim Amato scores. So Louisville with a walk-off in the bottom of the 11th. So they scathe off the sweep and get that chance for the reverse sweep against Big Horn. So we have 2 games ahead of us, or no, 3 games. Sorry about that. So Washington was the only one to pull off the sweep. So we will save this game. I will drop the file. I'm headed out for a little bit. I won't be back till later this afternoon. So ping me when you have exported, and we could finalize this round tonight. Otherwise, we won't start back up till tomorrow evening. So have a great Sunday, folks. I will see you later.